back at it again, and we've got a crazy one here, guys. But before we hop into it, like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Make sure you are following me on social media too. All of those links are down below in the description box, all right? And with that being said, let's dive in. Now, there was a story out of California probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that we found out about. And, you know, I've talked about the same situation in videos, in previous videos. You can go back throughout. I couldn't tell you specifically which video, but I know for a fact I have touched on it. Now, California has proposed giving reparations to black people, descendants of slaves. Now, I've always said that this will never work for a multitude of reasons. But one of those reasons is it will never be enough. It'll never be enough. You know, because just because one person says, all right, yeah, 200,000 or 500,000 is enough, doesn't mean the next person is going to say that. There will always be a person or group of people that is going to advocate for whatever set amount is not enough, or a group of people who's going to advocate for whatever set amount was paid wasn't enough to begin with. Hey, we still aren't happy just because you paid us $300,000. That is not enough. That does not wash away your sins and blah, 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 your wrongdoings to us. It will never be enough. So when I came across this video, I was like, oh my goodness. I called this. The title of this video is 200K in reparations is not enough. I said this from the jump. It will never be enough. You could say it's $500,000. People are going to say, oh, well, that's not enough because blah, 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 blah. And, you know, so I was like, yes, got to check this out. Got to check this one out out of California, you know, because I got a feeling it's going to be hilarious and going to be exactly what I said it would be. But anyway, I'll shut up and let's jump right on into this video and hear what these folks have to say about 200K not being enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we straight from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected and get reparations as well, to pass down to their people.
I think the reparations.
Well, there you go. There you go. Reparations for people that have been put in pine boxes. People that are no longer even here. It will never be enough. Ever. The amount isn't going to be enough. The number of people you gave it to isn't going to be enough. And you know, the way you gave it to them, it wasn't enough. And the time, it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? There's gonna always be something, but let's continue on.
Should get reparations as well, to pass down to their people.
I think the reparations should be as follows. It's to be gifted to us with gold and silver bullion to, as I said before, my antebellum slaves and ancestors and their heirs. It should be measured in the amount of 1 troy ounce of gold and silver per each antebellum slave and their descendants, according to the conditions of the mother for 16 generations. That equals 1,724 metric tons of gold and silver bullion. We're asking that you give us reparations because America is #1 on God's list to be destroyed. So if you don't accommodate us and you don't assist us, just watch what our God is going to do to America for what she has done to us and still doing, and a conspiracy right to this very hour against us. One white American woke up and said, we conspire to destroy black people each and every day. And the whole system is based on destroying us. There is no doubt.
Thank you. Any amount is too little, and every amount is never enough.
$200,000 is.
There you go. She said it. Any amount is too little, and every amount is not enough. What did I say? It will never be good enough. You might satisfy one person, but there's a whole nother 10. There's a group of 10 or 20, 30, 40, 50, 1,000 that is going to be out marching in the streets extremely upset because it wasn't enough. We want more. It's just like gun control. It will never be enough. Oh, we just want a little bit more. You know, it wasn't good enough the last time. Let's just take a little bit more. Goodness gracious.
Nothing for what my family has contributed to this country. We built
The amount is never enough.
$200,000 is nothing for what my family has contributed to this country. We built this country. We serve this country honorably. We need reparations.
And as Americans, as America lasted and has been funded by slavery for perpetuity, basically, and to give us one check and not to have all those insurance companies and all those agencies that's been benefiting from slavery for the rest of, for the entire lifetime of America, and to say that we get one check but not being like investors, our shareholders in those other companies, is kind of wrong.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we straight from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected and get reparations as well, to pass down to their people. Ronald Reagan never did his. Bush never did his. So we're affected. 77 is not the year. The year should be present.
The reparations should be tax-free, so that when we get the monies, the IRS won't come after us and take a big chunk of it. When everyone in this room has transitioned over, all of your names will be in the history books when we're dead and gone. So I'm asking you to please push the envelope for us, because the housing, $222,000
Thank you so much for your
is not
comments.
enough.
Thanks for coming out.
$200K is not enough. Now in California, you know, 200K is, you know, pennies. I get that, because prices in California, due to you know, the way it is there, it's not a whole lot. But this would be the same case if it was brought up anywhere else. All of them would scream, it's not enough. You could say $1 million. It's not enough. You could say $5 million. It's not enough. Now, obviously, you'll have, you know, the higher you go with the money, you'll have more and more people that agree with you. But there will always be a group of individuals that will be on the sideline extremely upset because of it not being enough money, the time frame, how it was given, you know, the manner it was given in. You know what I mean? It was cash and it wasn't gold or silver or something, or it was gold and it wasn't cash, or you know, it wasn't tax free, or you know, I mean, goodness gracious, it's just like, whoo! You didn't hand it to people that were already put in pine boxes, and oh my goodness. And then on top of that, how are you going to know who's a descendant of a slave? You're going to take their DNA? Okay, what about the people that aren't? You're going to tell them that they weren't? How, you know, somebody would complain about that. So how do you know? How do you know that was my DNA? How do you know you didn't get my DNA mixed up with somebody else's DNA? Blah, blah, blah. Or with it. I'm telling you, it will never end. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. That's why I feel like this whole discussion is just extremely pointless. And then on top of that, if you want to get into a deeper discussion, we could talk about giving reparations to people who were never slaves, and the people who never owned slaves have to pay for it. Well, does that make any type of sense? So people who have never been slaves get money from people who have never owned them. You know, I would feel a slap in the face. I would feel like I've been slapped in the face. For anybody who's not black that has to pay for something that they didn't do. Nobody alive today was involved in that whole situation. Nobody alive today. Nobody alive today knows somebody that was involved in that whole situation. So, like, why is it even still, like, I don't really get it. I don't understand. I think we should let bygones be bygones, and we can all get the hell on, you know, and move on with life. Like, how long are we going to cry about something that happened so long ago? And I always use the analogy, if somebody pushed you down and I come back a week later and you're still laying on the ground, that is now your fault. Was the person wrong that pushed you down on the ground? Absolutely. We can all admit to that. But if you're still laying on the ground crying and complaining after somebody pushed you down, or you haven't gotten yourself up, brushed yourself off, and kept moving forward, that is now your fault. How long are you going to make excuses? Was it wrong? Yes. Did it suck? Yes. But at a certain point, you got to move forward. But that's just my humble opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all feel about it or think about it in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.